So thank you very much, Steve, for coming to my podcast, Business Breakthroughs. Obviously, we know each other through the Professional Speaking Association for a while. And obviously, you've been so kind and you took your time and then you agreed to do this podcast with me, which is amazing because I obviously heard you speak. I know you are an amazing speaker and you do great things. But a lot of my listeners, they don't know that. So would you mind just opening up by sharing something about you? What is it you are doing at the moment?
Crikey, what am I doing at the moment? Well, as your listeners know, because they're business owners, it's very nice being very creative. And because of that, you have many projects. So I have many projects going on at the moment. So let me share one of them with you, which is I'm writing a movie, which is exciting. So I know, so I'm doing the script, the screenwriting at the moment, and I'm working with a coach. So we're working through that about why, what it's about, what's the story, what's the angle, all this technical stuff, which I'm way out my comfort zone, and it's very much about having the right golden gang around you when you're doing a project, when you're working towards something that you're very passionate about, your business or whatever. Surrounding yourself with the right people, and I've surrounded myself with. I'm surrounding myself. This coach is helping me, and so yes, I'm doing the script. I've done through it once. I'm going through it a second time, as you need to. I've done the movie poster, which is very exciting. And as soon as I can get it out of my head, then I can start sharing it with other people and start getting some feedback. It's all about the feedback. And then I can start making adjustments and fine tuning and then go to the next step. And what he's done is he's done it like a bit of a board game. If you think about Monopoly, you start at the beginning and you have to do all the sections. And I'm only on square number 3. So I've got a long, long way to go. I don't even know. I haven't looked ahead of me. Otherwise, I'll get too impatient. But yes, so that's one thing that I'm working on at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, why have you decided to write a movie? Because this is obviously a big jump from speaking, and then obviously it's like you said, you're on square feet, so kind of challenging as well. It's new. So why? And if you also would like to share what is it about, if you can share. If not, no worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So why am I doing it? Because it's just like having projects. But let's go back to the facts. I am still an international motivational speaker. That is my business. That's what I'm working on. And that every day I wake up and I work on that, the lead generation, the marketing, the perfecting, what more can I do? And this is the whole basis of why I'm a speaker and an author and do workshops. The whole reason behind that is it's kind of like the 2080. I'm trying not to digress too much. I'll come back to the original question at some point, but it's 2080. So the 20% is what frustrates me. And what makes me angry, what makes me jealous, what makes me envious. The 80% is the action that I'm doing about it. A lot of people get it the wrong way round and they just moan and groan about stuff for 80% and hardly take any action. So the thing that winds me up, that grinds me, is people that talk about stuff but don't do anything about it. They moan about stuff but don't take any action. They want to achieve, they want to succeed, they want to lose weight, get fit, find love, get a better job, and they don't do anything about it. And that really frustrates me. So, I have to calm myself down because maybe they don't know how to do it. And that's what you usually find out is they say, look, I want this, but I don't know how to. Now, to be honest, I would say that's leaning on excuses nowadays because you can use AI, you can use Google, YouTube and find the answer and still take action. But let's put that to one side. So maybe they don't know how to achieve. And this is the thing, I do. I know how to achieve. Because of my journey, I went from wheelchair to world champion and now beyond in business. In every stage of the way, I was out of my comfort zone. I didn't know what I needed to do. Sat in hospital bed, having to grow my leg, learn to stand again. And I didn't know how to do that. So I asked, and the physios, the doctors, the surgeons, the nurses, the NHS, they all helped me and I was able to achieve. As an elite athlete, way out of my comfort zone. But again, practitioners, coaches, bike mechanics, nutritionists, they helped me to get to the start line, cross the finish line, grab the gold medal, having the right people around you, finding that passion thing that I want. Now in my business, what is it that I'm trying to do? I'm trying to pay it forward. I'm trying to help people to achieve the life that they want to achieve, to unlock the essential habits that will help them to achieve in this competitive world. So what I'm getting to is I'm always asking myself, what more can I do to help them? For me, it's number three. It's your golden gear, all the stuff that you need to do. What more can I do? What more can I do? What more can I do? So speaking is great. I get my message out there. I inspire, empower, I motivate people to take action. Okay, that's great. What more can I do? Write a book. Write a book on my journey. Write a book, a business book on how to do that. Okay, so I've done 2 books. What more can I do? Well, what about a workshop? So we actually do the exercises to help people to achieve in their life. Great. What more can I do? I don't know, a documentary. Right, we've done that. What else? Maybe a film that would really get the message out there globally, Hollywood, on Netflix, on Prime. Right, let's write a film then. So to answer your question, that's why I'm writing a film, is to get the message out there, to inspire, to empower people. I've had this catalyst moment in my life, and I get it. I don't want anybody else to go through what I've been through, have a car accident or anything like that. So my point is, I want to be the catalyst moment in their life. And how I do that is what I do in my business. I want people to hear my keynote, see my performance, and at the end of it go, wow, that was incredible. Steve Judge is amazing. Because of that, because of the messages and the giveaways and the takeaways, I'm going to take action. And I think, great, this is brilliant. And it'll be the same with the film. The film will be entertaining, it'll be inspiring. And at the end of the film, they go, well, that was great. And actually, I feel a little bit motivated. I'm going to go and take action. I go, oh, this is great. So that's why I'm writing the film.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, it's actually very interesting what you shared in here, because just a month ago, we were running a mastermind in Romania. And the topic, the theme is about branding, how to get branded, like how important it is to be branded. And then we kind of included like 6 different ways which can help you with the branding. And you mentioned some of them you are already doing. Obviously, one of them is international speaker. The other one is being an author, having a book, right? Then there are another aspects of it, speaking on unusual places and photos with some celebrities and things like that. All of that helps with the branding. So basically you have some of them and you are working on them. But I never thought of putting there a movie. I never thought about it. So I think movie could be another step for people if they really want to get branded to, be in a movie or, so to get the message out there, because obviously that'll be ultimately, it can be really a globally affect, but obviously it needs to work. But I never thought about it. So I have made a note for here for my mastermind to maybe speak about it as well, because it's kind of interesting, because it's kind of really somewhere out there, like on a bigger level. And then sometimes you don't think about it like that. Yeah. So that was good.
I think you've got a point, but Vincent, we are in the entertainment industry as speakers, whether we like it or not. We are entertainers, and people want to be motivated, inspired, but they also want humor. They want to laugh. They want to cry. They don't actually want to cry, but when they do cry, so people remember 2 emotions. Last 2 emotions they remember: the last time they laughed and the last time they cried. Now, if you can get that in your presentation, performance, keynote, then they will remember you in a good way. So you think about the entertainment industry. So yeah, we're speakers. Great. What about comedians? They get the message across. So I haven't done a comedy bit yet, but it's on my list of things to do. I keep on finding excuses because I don't really want to do it. It's really hard, but I will do it at some point. I've already got a script on the go. So one day I'm going to do a comedy, and that will be getting the message out there. A theatre production. I would love to do a theatre production. My performance on the stage is a bit like a theatre production. It has a bit of acting in it, has a bit of interaction in it, has some props in it. It has a story, just like a theatre production. So yeah, you could do a theatre production about your journey, about your message. Now then, the film, and it sounds like a big thing, and it is a big thing. I'm not trying to play it down. However, let's be realistic nowadays. With the help of AI, things are a lot more possible. The movie poster that I made took me, 5-10 minutes, and that looks amazing. Now, in the old days, like 10 years ago, a graphic designer would have charged a fortune for just something that you're just trying to mock up, just trying to get a visualization of what it could look like, possibly, maybe. And I was talking yesterday with one of my Golden Gang members, Jim James, and he's very much into AI. So I talked about the film, and he said, "Oh, it sounds good." He says it sounds fantastic, to be honest. He says, "And where are you with this?" I said, "Blah blah blah." And I said, "What I'd really like is once I've got the script and I've got the movie poster, I wouldn't mind a trailer, like a 1-minute trailer of what the movie is, because then you can actually see it, believe it, conceive it, and that might really help with funding. And he said, it's not impossible, Steve. You can get AI if you put the right details into it and say what you want, and maybe a few photos or videos or whatever. We can knock something up in AI. It might cost a couple of £100, but then you've got some. You've got a 1 minute trailer of your film. Wow. I mean, that is incredible, because that would have been like unheard of in the past. But you could probably go further than that, Vincent. What about a whole film using AI? Now, I know people are against AI. You want authenticity, you want actors and stuff like that. But if you were just messing about with it, if you were just playing with it, you could maybe get a 5 minute film AI produced, and that's it. And suddenly there's less hurdles, there's less barriers, there's less fees and costs, and it's more possible. And you think, yeah, maybe. Now, it's not for everybody, but it's something to consider. It's just about planting seeds sometimes and just see what you feel about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, with AI is obviously a big topic. I obviously use it a lot. I even have a business for that. But like, which just reminded me of when I first started in 2019. I bought a online course from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and one of the things was they will be teaching me how to build landing pages and funnels and how that works in a sense of if you want to run masterminds or something like that. And I was like learning that, and I was like, oh my god. And then I built one funnel, and it took me like a week. I'm like, and this and this and connect this, and now the wording and the content, what is going to be in it. So it took me a long time to build one. Just yesterday, we have, me, Louis, and Lara. We were like, okay, we need to create some new ads into our new AI challenge. Actually, what we'll be doing in the 1st of June, and we created 9 ads, 9 different landing pages with all the automations in just one day. Everything is done, and I'm like, that's crazy how quickly we can build it now with AI. Like the speed of it, like if you know how to use it, right? And now I'm paying only like £1,500 a year. And before I was paying like $1,000. I know I had the guy $1,000 a month to pay him to build 2-3 funnels a month for me. And now I don't need to pay him that, right? And I don't need to pay so many things because of AI. So it's just how to use it. So what else do you use AI for? Like if we are already on that topic.
So I've been avoiding it because I'm old school. I've only just so I just felt that I didn't need it, and maybe I don't. I don't need it as much. I've only just signed up for it. So the before you know it, my business coach has been banging on about it for ages, and I'm just like, yeah, it does sound good. It is good. So I used it now that I've signed up to it. The movie poster was one thing. I'm working on a new book at the moment, because a lot of people ask me about speaker coaching, and I do speaker coaching, but I don't shout loud about it because my goal is keynote speaking. I love to be on the stage, on the big gigs internationally, like a rock star. That's what I want. That's what my drive is.
Yeah.
However, I want to help people as well. And people, so the new book will be very much about public speaking skills. That's like almost chapter 1. Chapter 2 is becoming a professional speaker, which is many things, but one of the things it is earning. And the last one is upscaling. So learn, earn, upscaling to become a global speaker. So a lot of people say, I want to be a global speaker. How do I do it, Steve? And I think, well, let's go back to chapter 1. Let's just check your skills out first, because you need to have that skills. And this is the long process that I've learned. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I went straight in as I want to be a global speaker. And I went to the PSA, and I suddenly realized very quickly that I didn't have many skills at all. No stagecraft, no interaction, no humor, no storytelling, no props. Just an amazing story and a lot of confidence. So yes, a lot of people are like that. Professionalism. Okay, now you're talking about websites. You're talking about having a logo. You're talking about how you get the message across, the takeaways, all of that stuff that makes it more into a business, a contract. The follow up, all of that, and that gets really quite serious. You're trying to run a business now and live off it, and there's a bit of pressure there as well. But then the upscaling into the becoming a global speaker, again, what do you need to do for that? And then that's what my book is. So I'm putting all of that into AI, and I'm asking it to help me. I don't want it to come up with all of the answers, because I want it to be for me, my experiences. But it's fascinating how the answers that it comes back with are directed for me. And this is what I like about AI. it knows my website, it knows my book, it knows who I am, it knows my story. So when it gives me a response, it is for Steve Judge. Whereas if I read something from a book, it would be generic. Even if I did something from Google, it'd be generic. But when it's saying, Steve, you're always talking about good to gold, so don't forget this and do this. I'm like, you're absolutely right. Yes, thank you very much. And it's so nice. It really is like having a business partner that you're working with. So I'm doing that, the movie as well. And then I'm doing some videos for clients at the moment. And again, I'm trying to tailor make my performance and what I talk about, the good to gold, the 5 winning ways. How does that relate to the finance industry? How does that relate to insurance? How does that relate to CEOs, etc.? And I don't know is the answer, but AI does. And it comes out and it says, well, you could say this, you could say that. And I thought, oh, yes, I could. That's very good. Excellent. So I will go away and I will do the video. And I think that's really important. The authenticity and so it's not perfect, but I've got all the information that I'm talking about from AI. So yes, more and more I can see week by week, month by month, I'll be using AI a lot more going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, I know some people adopt it slower, some people faster, but the reality is it's the same like if anything else, like social media. Some people, there are still some businesses, they don't use social media and they are losing out on potential having more business and they didn't even adopt it now. And then there'll come a company and they'll bar their business and they'll just do a few tweaks. Like one of them will be being more visible online and suddenly they can have much more business because they see the potential because they're already doing it. With the AI, it's like, I think it's not like optional. I think like if people want to stay in business, they have to use it because the things what you can do like and on what speed, and then you don't need the other people, some of them to do and help you, and you overpay. So then like if you are competing with someone who's using it very well and someone who doesn't, no, then they have a big advantage, right? So sooner you use it in many things actually, it's definitely good. You're not going to stop it, so we just need to leverage it. Okay, you mentioned also in here, because this is actually an interesting thing which it's relatable to every business owner. You mentioned that when you wake up, you work on your business, you do things, and one of the things you mentioned, you do lead generation, you do marketing. So would you mind sharing specifically what is it you do for that? Because when I speak with people, like big problem they always have, like, I don't know what to post, I don't know how to attract clients, how to get leads, what shall I do for it? Because doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be speaking business, but from your experience, how are you doing it? So maybe people can learn.
So what to put on social media? So the social media posts, the answer is, I'm not saying this is an easy answer. Okay, the answer is whatever you're thinking at the time. It's authenticity. So if you're really dedicated in your business, which I'm sure your listeners are, they're entrepreneurs, they're go-getters. They wake up in the morning, they're thinking about work, they're thinking about what they need to do. That's the social media posts that they need to put on there. They need to put it obviously in writing, ask AI to help you, and always put a photo. Got to put a photo, always put a photo. If you don't put a photo, it will get lost in the Ibiza of of all the work that's out there, or the social media posts. So always put some kind of an image, and then speak from the heart as much as possible. I woke up this morning and I had a really thoughtful idea about how I can help more people. Now, you can twist it round. You might be thinking about how to earn more money, but usually earning more money is by helping more people. So put the bit about the helping people, not the how to make money thing, because it makes you come across as just you're being greedy, but it's survival. As business owners, we have to be thinking about the money. If we're not making money, that's not a business, that's a hobby, and that's lovely, but it's not very sustainable. So yes, and I don't do this. That's why I'm hesitating. That my plan is to do more videos. Now, I'm a speaker. People want to see me, they want to hear me. I don't mind speaking to camera. I'm just not doing it at the moment. But my plan is to do at least one a week. One a day would be better, and keep it short. People's attention span is very short nowadays. So 1 minute, 2 minutes max. But what it would be is what I was thinking about that morning. It might be something to do with the trees, or something to do with the traffic, or something to do with my cup of coffee, or something like that. But is there a message from that? we're not just talking about being an influencer and just blurbing about, you know, what you're doing in the day. What is the message? It's like as a speaker, when you're as a speaker, you're looking at the audience, and the audience are sat there and they are thinking, what's in it for me? Why should I sit here listening to Steve Judge for 45 minutes, an hour? Maybe the listeners on your podcast that, you know, they're tuning in, they're going, why, what's in it for me? What am I going to get from this? It's the same with the social media post. What's in it for them? What's in it for them to read through your words that you're putting on? What is the takeaway at the end? What is the inspiration, the motivation, or maybe even humor or something, you know, that's relatable? You've got to think about that. If there isn't anything, then maybe don't post it. You know, type it and then you know, bank it somewhere. But yeah, that's my advice on what you should do for social media. It's generally, if you're in the right mindset, again, I'm pretty sure your listeners are, you're thinking about work, you're thinking about how to help people, you're thinking about these great ideas, you're thinking about these crazy ideas, and sometimes that's nice to share as long as there's a message at the end and get it out there and get something out there. So I don't do that all the time. A lot of my posts are, I've been here, I've done this, I've done that, and that is making me visual. You know, I need people to know that I exist, that I'm still out there, I'm still alive, and it's that 7 points of contact before they book you. I want people to see me on social media, go, oh, Steve Judge. Yes, actually, I've got a conference coming up, and I keep seeing posts about Steve, that'll do. And then maybe I'll get the email or the phone call and see where it goes. But make yourself visual. Otherwise, you'll just get forgotten about. And that's sad, isn't it? So yeah, that's my advice.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think sometimes people get discouraged by there is no reactions to those things what they're posting. You know, like I post a lot, and then you know, sometimes there is no like or comment. There is nothing. It's just a post, and then sometimes I think people get discouraged. It's like, there's no landing. Nobody's seeing it. But the truth is, there's a lot of people seeing it. They are just not doing anything about it. Like I see a lot of posts. I don't like or comment on any of them. I just see it. But I see, yeah, like you said, Steve Judge spoke there. He spoke on this conference. When he was flying there, he stopped there to speak there. And you see it, so you remember. But then it's very important for people to be part of some group, organization, somewhere where they can, like-minded people, whatever, you know, like we are members of professional speaking association, there can be business association, I don't know. And then obviously meeting in person, you know, building those connections, because that gives you also very good validation that actually people watch. Because I see it all the time, like just now on the Impact conference a month ago or 2 weeks ago, somebody was coming to me and they were introducing to me, and then they know me, and I really didn't know who they are, like a lot of these people, but they knew me because I'm posting a lot. Even though they never would comment, never send me a message, but they know. And that's what matters, right? So it's that visibility of what you said.
Yeah, visibility is so important. The other thing I want to say is, and this is something I only found out a couple of months ago, people might have this fear of, if they're posting on social media, people might get sick of them. They go, oh, here he is again. He's posting again. He keeps going on about this motivational stuff and so optimistic. Don't worry about it, is the point there. Because algorithms kick in to your social media. And like it or hate it, you can't control it. Your posts go to the people that want to see those posts. If people don't want, so for example, for me, if people don't want to be motivated or inspired or don't want to book a speaker, they probably won't see my social media posts. And I think that's annoying, but I can't do anything about it. The people that do want motivation and do want to book a speaker, they are seeing my posts more. That's how algorithms work. And what I mean by that is, even, you know, LinkedIn or social media will go through the words that I'm saying on the video. Even if I'm not typing it, it will listen to what I'm saying, and it will direct my social media to the people that want it. So the point is, don't be shy to post every single day. The people that want to see it will see it. On the other side, the flip side, is sometimes people don't see it, and that is annoying, but just keep posting. So this is a story from a couple of years ago. I had a book coming out, my first book, and for the 30 days leading up to launch day, I did a video and I did a post every single day. It was exhausting. It was very tiring. And eventually my book was launched, and, you know, fanfare and job done. And I met people in networking events, and they said, I knew they were active on social media, and they said, Steve, how's the book going? When's it being launched? I was like, are you kidding me? I've just been banging on about it for like 30 days. Have you not seen any videos? And they go, I've not seen any of that. And I was absolutely gutted. So there's pros and cons, but my point is just keep posting, putting it out there. Don't lean on your excuses.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. And another one I have in here. You mentioned that you sometimes get frustrated that you obviously are a go-getter. You obviously went through some difficulties, and then you build those habits, you do take action, and then sometimes you get frustrated that other people, they don't. So why do you think, let's say they have the skills, they have the abilities, because like we know, all the information is there available online. So that's not the excuse. So why do you think some people do and some people they don't?
I don't know. It drives me mad, drives me potty. So I would say that they don't want it enough. It's as simple as that. Because when you want it enough, you will move mountains. And it's about cranking it up. It's about admitting to yourself what you really, really, truly want. And just like think about that. So I call that your gold. And this is what I talk about, good to gold. Gold being an acronym for your goal, your opportunity, your love, your dream. What is that thing that you really want? What is that thing that you'll get out of bed at 5:30 in the morning, jumping out of bed like a grasshopper, running around like Billy Whiz? What is that thing that you're almost scared or afraid to share with other people because it's a crazy thing that you want? And it might be that you want a new job, a highly paid job. It might be that you want a new car, a Rolex watch, or you want to find true love because the relationship that you're in at the moment is not quite kicking it. I don't know. Maybe you want to be a little bit fitter. Maybe you want to lose a bit of weight. But these things you might not want to share with other people. But if that's what you truly want, you've got to share it with yourself and find the right person that you can share it with and go for that. Find out what that thing is that you really will be driven towards. Now, I've got this new thing at the moment. Bear with me. It's called Project Squirrel. So Project Squirrel. Now, I don't know if you remember, but in the 80s, the BBC did this documentary kind of thing about squirrels trying to get the nuts from birds. And there were bird feeders, and the squirrels were trying to get the nuts. And they did lots of like an assault course, hurdles and barriers. And the squirrel would try to get the nuts and kept on falling, doing somersaults. But you know what? Every morning that squirrel woke up thinking, how am I going to get those nuts? It was driven to get those nuts. So my point is be a squirrel. You know, what would a squirrel do? What are you doing to wake up every morning and think, how am I going to get that thing? And when I say the thing, and we're talking about nuts here, the big nuts, how are you going to get your big nuts? Not the small nuts. We can get the small nuts. You know, we can grab those. For me, it's international speaking gigs. I want more of those. Now, I can get the gigs in the UK, the small gigs, the good gigs, but I want the big nuts, the big international. So I'm waking up every morning thinking, what do I need to do? Who do I need to contact? What networking do I need to do? Who do I need to reach out to? Is that an email? Do I need to do a video? Do I need to do a social media post about international speaking? I'm being a squirrel and I'm looking for those big nuts. So that's my advice to the audience. Your audience is to be a squirrel, have a project squirrel, think about what your big nuts are, and work towards those every single day.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And to wrap it up, I'll ask you one more question. If you, obviously you went through some tough times, you can choose any of them because obviously there might be few, and it could be with business, with life. So when you went through it, what helped you to overcome it? Because there will be some people who are going through difficulties and they feel down. So I always ask this to find out what other people are saying. So they maybe can try it and like, okay, I didn't think about it. Maybe I can try that. And then it can help them to, get up and build up momentum.
My advice, so I had some mental health issues or a session. I don't know what to call it. I don't know how to phrase it. But 2 years ago, I ended up in hospital because of mental health. I went through a lot, and at the time I was fit and healthy, but there was a lot going wrong in my life. And as business owners, I'm pretty sure we can all relate to that. Now, at that time, I just split up from a 7.5 year relationship. My business was not doing well. Money in the bank was scarce, and I was getting a little bit worried. And then on top of that, there's things like the fridge freezer broke. I got a parking fine. I stubbed my toe. Things in life. The point is that throughout all of this, I didn't talk to anybody about it at all. And so my advice is share, and it's not from the singer, not share. What should I believe? But the share, talk to people. What I realized when I was in hospital on day five, that's how serious it was. I was in hospital for 5 days because I'd got some kind of infection in my leg. And I'd got the infection because my immune system was down. And I was thinking, why is my immune system down? What's going on? I'm fit, I'm healthy. I was running, drinking water, getting fresh air, doing all of that. Why is my immune system down? It was down because I wasn't talking to anybody about what I was going through. Not even my brother, my sister, my mum, my best friends, my mastermind group, my business, nobody. I'm a motivational speaker. So when people asked me how I was, I said, I'm fine. How are you? I twisted it around very quickly and I wasn't talking. So I made a list in hospital about who I needed to talk to, about what was going on. My brother, my sister, my mum, my business partners, my friends. And from that point onwards, I'm more open with what's going on in my life, what's going on inside my head. And it's not easy. And I think it takes practice. It's easy to say, I'm fine, how are you? And twist it around and not talk about what's going on. Or you can say, yeah, I'm fit and well. I am fit and well. How are you mentally, though? How is your mental health? And people don't really talk about that. They go, oh, my mental health. It's quite hard, to be honest, to gauge how your mental health is. It's like a scale out of 10. Do you go, is it 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10? I don't know. Your fitness and health, if you can run up a hill without getting out of breath, you're pretty fit. Or, you can stand on the scales, you can see, your weight. But your mental health is very hard. But the more you start talking about it, the more you know where you are. I'm in a good place. I'm not in a good place because of this, that, and the other. So my advice at the end of this is share. Please share. And when I say share, I'm not the singer, but when I say share with, first of all, yourself. Talk to yourself about it. Talk to somebody else if you can. But if not, if you're struggling with that, start journaling. Start writing it down. Start listening to music and the lyrics. Start listening to poetry. Do something to get it out of your head, because that will help you so much to move forward. One of my quotes is, if you can't get to the start line, you can't compete. What I mean by that is injury prevention. You love doing what you're doing. You're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. But if you're ill, if you're in hospital or in bed ill, then you can't do the thing that you love. So you've got to think about yourself, got to think about the self-care, and got to look after yourself. It's all about balance, isn't it? And we do get it wrong sometimes. But if you share, tell people, they can help you and they can pick you up.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you very, very much for sharing. It was very insightful. And thank you very much for being on my podcast today. It was a really good conversation. I took a lot from it, and I know my audience as well. Thank you.
No problem at all. It's lovely to be here.